You can only get timely, credible, and reliable news on your shining supreme station. Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin.
For the best of national, local, international news and sport, tune in to News Punch and Diamond 88.7 FM. News Punch, all about the news.
It's 2 minutes gone past 9. Good morning and many thanks for staying with us on Diamond 88.7 of FM Ilori. This is News Punch, a news and current affairs compilation of topical story headlines making the round. I am your host, Omonike. Babatunde, you're welcome. Let's take a look at the headlines. I won't be distracted from doing what's right, says Tinubu. Tinubu hails Adeleke at 65, praises his pan-Nigerian outlook. Tinubu, Jonathan, Akpabio, others pay tribute to late elder statesman Edwin Clark. Now is the best time to invest in Nigeria, Shetima tells Islamic Development Bank. Federal government to close the Joram Marine Bridge in Lagos for 21 days. Nigeria needs $10 billion annually for stable electricity, says Minister. Wike, Umahi, others to unveil Tinubu's achievements in London. Porous border threatening Nigerian security, demands stronger national unity, Speaker Abbas says. Representatives reject bill on rotational presidency among 6 geopolitical zones. 3 Kebbi senators formally defect to APC. Federal government's rural electrification drive attract 5.8 billion naira private investment. And Governor Lawal distributes 140 vehicles to security agencies, commissions Zamfara mass transit buses. Oyo Assembly urges Makinde to take action against fraudsters, criminals. Remains of slain student Afsal Lawal buried in Kwara. And moving on to the foreign scene, latest quake sparks fear around Naples, Italy. United Kingdom police arrest man for arson after fire at PM Starmer's house. U.S. Saudi Arabia signed historic $142 billion arms deal. India kills 3 suspected militants in Kashmir as Pakistan ceasefire holds. And moving on to the exciting world of sports, 2025 Under-20 AFCON. Zubairu promises more composed Flying Eagles versus South Africa. Belgium, Arokodare thrilled to win Ebony Shoe Award. And those are the major headlines making the round today. It was compiled and edited by Abiodun Akiwumi, and my name is Omonike. Babatunde. For sponsorship or advert placement, kindly contact our sales and marketing office on 091 2929 4332 or 090 77 227120. Up next is Diamond Breakfast Show, where we discuss and have in-depth analysis on some of the topical stories. Don't forget you can follow us by logging onto any of Diamond FM online platform on www.diamondfm.net or keep up to date via our social media pages. Don't go away, please.
The major talking points in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, I want to kill us. Father, not kill us for Nigeria. Oh, please, help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can a government, how can you hold in the mean? This is intolerable.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show. amplifying the voice of the people.
From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin, this is the Diamond Breakfast.
And this program is going to run from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And it's a platform where trending issues ranging from politics to governance, economics, security, and so much more are laid open. We prefer solutions to the necessary government parastatal to take action, hopefully. And, in the course of this, studio line will be open in due time. But then you can watch us on our Facebook page. We're live on Facebook. Well, before we go ahead, you might want to take down the numbers you're going to call. The number to call is 091 3655 6952, or you send a message, SMS, WhatsApp, or you might want to send a voice note to 091 3655 6864. I am your host, Omonike Babatunde. And I'm not alone this morning. I am joined by my guest, a political analyst, and is Mr. Olariwaju Timitayo Lawal. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Omonike. Good morning to all our listeners.
Good morning, sir. It's a pleasure to have you on again, sir.
Thank you.
All right, what will be our first focus of the day? Well, federal character is playing out like a movie. Lawmakers have rejected a bill suggesting that the presidency should rotate like NEPA light, one zone at a time. But apparently, sharing power equally seems to be too much power to share. And some representatives argue that zoning the presidency is like giving everyone a bite of a meat in a pot of egusi. It sounds fair until someone actually swallows the spoon. But now presidency remains survival of the fittest and not next on the queue. For our second topic, again, Boko Haram strolls into military bases in Borno like an open mic night. Soldiers killed, many others, civilians injured. And the question now is, are we fighting a war or filming a long-running series like Guess Who Raided Again? And in what looks less like a regulatory cleanup and more like a spiritual cleansing, the Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, has dramatically exorcised billions worth of fake imported product. Tires were burnt, and so many others were burnt, steel doors, among many others. And according to SON, this is all in the name of protecting Nigerians from products that have no business existing, but somehow still passes through the same port that inspects it with one eye open. So if you recently bought a tire that exploded on impact, or a door that opens in a region that does not have capable people who can lead, that's what he says, because it says what is good for the goose is also good for the gander. Now, Sani Madaki, the member of New Nigerian People's Party (NNPP), and many others rejected the bill, while some actually accepted it. But then, following the rejection, Francis Wave, chairman of the House Committee on Rules and Business, raised the point of order, requesting that the rejected bill should be considered individually. Now, let's go to the question of the day. Well, I'm going to be having, detailed conversation with my guest today, and I'm going to start with, this particular rotational presidency. Does it, in a way, let's say, align with the principle of, let's say, democracy? Because if we're going to look at it at this point in time, at some point, if you try to look at it, it looks good. But if you look at it again, it might sound not so good. But what is your take on this? Let me have your take first on this.
Thank you, Omonike. Good morning to all our listeners again. I think I will have to play the devil's advocate on this.
Okay.
I will neither be here nor there, because when you listen to some of the reasons adduced by the sponsors of the bill, on paper they sound egalitarian. It is to ensure that every part of the country feels included in the scheme of things. And on the one part, that sounds good.
Okay.
However, it is reminiscent of the quota system. And as a matter of principle, I'm not an advocate of quota system.
Okay.
Because when we look at the antecedent of this country and what the quota system that was later dubbed the federal character, system, where has it gotten us? It has elevated, it has relegated merit and competence to the background in favor of quota. However, we shouldn't just look at the symptoms. We should look at the root causes. What are the unspoken? So when we now look at the bill in its entirety, why should it be discarded? If we are going to discard it, then the root causes that led to the agitation for that bill must also be addressed.
But if we're going to talk about it now, where does competency comes to have a play?
That's why I said I want to play devil's advocate. I'm going to be on this side and I'm going to be on the other side.
Okay, it's better that way.
It's better that way,
Yeah.
so that I don't look like I'm supporting one political class against the other. Quota system has not helped us. I was a victim of quota system, and so many other Nigerians too, in our different endeavors, academic, secular, and what have you. However, we need to carry everybody along. So we need to find a balance. If we are going to go for a rotational presidency, then we must ensure that each region puts out its best hands. And as we speak, even though we are not doing rotational presidency, those leading us are not the best amongst us. They are not the most competent amongst us. So that is why it has its pros and its cons. We need to balance it. It should not just be thrown out entirely, because there are several sections of that bill. There are different sections in that particular bill. So, but throwing out the baby with the bathwater is not good.
It's not good.
They should look at all of the different sections. The ones that can be fleshed out should be fleshed out. The ones that can be repealed will be rejected, and then look at the substantive bill and look at how it can benefit Nigerians. For those who are saying no, we don't want that, it is because they feel they are within the majority, and in that majority their voice is loudest. A case in point is when you say the entire north, including the north central, the northeast, and the northwest. That's 19 states out of 36. So they have a majority. When you balkanize it and decimate it and say, okay, northeast, northwest, north central, in the north, those who have had a shot at the presidency is just the northwest, not the northeast, not the north central. And so both regions in the north will be agitating. You see where the rejection is coming from. Now when you come to the south, we've had somebody from the south, we've had from the southwest. Those from the southwest will be agitating. So that's why I said we should treat the root causes that has led to the emergence of this bill. What are the root causes? The case of marginalization here, injustice here, insecurity there. Once we treat all of this, and every Nigerian feels they belong to this project called Nigeria, then it will become unattractive for money bags to say they want to hijack, they want to go into political offices, public offices, and use political power for their selfish interest.
All right, but then if we're going to look at, we always focus on the negative, but then let's try to focus on the positive now. Let's assume this bill was passed into reading or passed into bill now. What do you think would have played out?
If that bill had scaled through, what it will entail is that somebody from the northeast will have equal chance as somebody from the north central, as somebody from the southeast, as somebody from the northwest, without necessarily looking at the numbers that their regions will bring out. Don't forget that politics is also a game of numbers. You get the highest number of votes to scale, to attain that particular public office, especially for the elective ones. So the bright side of it is that everybody, now we know that once it goes clockwise or anti-clockwise, once you bide your time, it will get to your region. So you can start drawing up your plans and say, okay, in the next 12 years, in the next 16 years, in the next 24 years, we are going to have a shot at the presidency. What is our economic blueprint? What is our political blueprint? What is our foreign policy as an entity now, a region that we want to push as an agenda at the center? Those are the pros. Now, for those who feel they are the majority, we have 3 majority tribes. And even at that, to me, I believe the third one is still a minority. Yes. I'm not afraid to bruise some egos.
Well, you've said it earlier.
So now, for those ones, those who feel they have the numbers, who feel shortchanged, that okay, this person is not from our region, they will have to wait. And for those who have the mentality that they are born to rule because they have the numbers on their side. But
if we're going to look at
they are going to feel shortchanged.
So how do we now have a balance so that every region has a fair share of government?
We've tried quota system in education, in health, in law, in administration, and all whatnot. Where has it gotten us? It has not gotten us anywhere. So I think we should push merit to the front burner. The benchmark should be competence, capacity, and character, irrespective of where you come from.
But if we push that, don't you think the same set of persons or the same region will keep ruling if we do that?
Well, you can't eat your cake and have it.
Okay. But then we want everyone to have a fair share.
Yeah, we do. We do. However, the cards that were dealt with in life are not always fair. So you make the best of what you've been dealt with.
Okay, make the best of what you've been dealt with. Okay, all right, let's take your reaction at this point in time. 09136556952 is the number to call. 09136556952. And you can also send a message to 09136556864. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. You're welcome.
I'm calling from Lambudio.
You're welcome, sir.
I like the sound of your guest this morning.
Thank you, sir.
He played the role of the part. Belongs to the birds and the rat. But left to me, I would have loved a stand also. But the problem we are having now, if you look at it, if things continue like this, only people from the northwest, northeast, and southwest will continue to be the president. That's the bitter truth.
Okay.
Unless by accident, unless the incumbent president dies and the vice takes over. And that is the danger. What are these zones for if we cannot rotate it? There's nowhere you cannot get the best in this country. I'm not trying to, I'm an elder. I cannot just talk anyhow. Tell me how a Yoruba from Kwara can become president of the country with the present system. How possible is it? It may even get to a point, the Northwest and only see what happened now. Tinubu spent only 2 years. Already, people from Northeast, and go and check it. Mostly people are agitating for 2027 now. They are from the Northeast and the Northwest.
All right. Thank you.
That man, if he remains for one time and they want him to stay, how do you expect other tribes to be considered?
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
He's the best. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution. Well, but then again, I'm going to say never, because at some point we could have had Senator Saraki become president at some point in time.
In addition to what he said, look at an appointment the president made not too long ago. Is it Dr. or Mr. Ojulari, who is now the new group managing director of NNPC?
Yeah.
He's from Kwara State. He's of Yoruba extraction. Now, when he made that appointment, people from the core north were lamenting that he's choosing his kinsmen. But geographically speaking and geopolitically speaking, that appointment is from the north central. But culturally, traditionally, he's a Yoruba man.
Okay.
you see how you see where those are some of the complexities and the complications that can come from this rotation.
Okay. All right. Let's take a reaction. 0913655695. Please remember to not use inciting word or abusive word. You're welcome, sir.
Omonike, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
May the Lord preserve your golden voice.
Amen.
Good morning, our guest.
Good morning, sir.
Elder Yemi Asaju is my name. I'm calling from Ilorin.
You're welcome, Elder.
The rotational presidency bill is a welcome one. It is a very good approach, although it might have come at the wrong time. You see, just like the last speaker said, if the present situation is allowed to subsist, only people from 3 regions will dominate the leadership of this country. And that will not help our cohesion, and that will not help national unity. There are some minority groups in this country that have rich deposit of men and women that have a lot to offer to the development of the nation. Now, how will they get there? They will not get there. Like what our guest said now, there is a lot of criticism that greeted the emergence of Ojulari. Now, I kept on asking this question: is Kwara and Kogi, or Kwara especially, not part of North as claimed? When they want political figures, they recognize these 2 states as part of the North. But when it comes to taking advantage of the country, they are, in fact, it's like we are not even Nigerians. So all these things must be addressed. You see, anger is bottled up in some of these regions. And if it allowed to persist, the day it will explode, we might not be able to contend it. It is a very good development. I hope Kalu also will represent this budget, and I pray that others will take a look at it and see the need to allow the bill to go. However, if it is to be done, it must be in the interest of Nigeria and not in the interest of political jobbers. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you so much, Elder. Thank you for your contribution. 0913655695 is still the number to call. Let's take this reaction here. It says, good morning, anchor and analyst. I think it's a good idea that the rotational presidency system sponsored by some members of the House of Representatives was rejected in the House. President in a democratic system must be elected by the citizens, who should vote for hardworking, loyal, dedicated person who should bring dividend of democracy to the citizens. Mr. Samuel from Airport Road. Thank you so much for your contribution. And it seems Elder Yemi Asaju has sent a message earlier. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome, Prophetess.
Good morning to the guests too.
Good morning, ma'am.
Happy New Day. This is Prophetess Ayodele.
You're welcome, man.
Speaking from the airport, Iloni. My own contribution to this morning conversation on rotation the presidency is a welcome idea.
Okay.
That we are still pleading to our elders, the government, so please look into some issue on ground that can make us happy to back all these winning policy. And we are still praying for Mr. President. I still warming up for his second time in office. We are expecting goodies in his just at us, 29 May, by special grace of God.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prophetess. And here says, well, still from Elder Yemi Asaju says, rotational presidency bill is not a bad approach, although it might have come at the wrong time. If it remains as it is, some minority nationalities may not be opportune to get to the top. Some of these minority groups have rich deposit of men and women with so much to contribute to the nation's development. However, it must be done in the best interest of the country and not to satisfy the political curiosity of the privileged Nigerians. Nigeria belongs to all of us, and she must not be dominated by a section. Elder Yemi Asaju, thank you so much. Let's take this reaction, then we'll go on a break. I'll go for our second topic.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
This is Godwin from Black Journey.
You're welcome, Mr. Godwin.
I differ from all this entirely conservative or no rotation. What is that I'm begging and calling the government. If you had what we had this morning, almost 100 soldiers have been killed. Many people, Nigerians, have been killed.
As a president, and he gave the masses dividend of democracy, and everyone is happy. Do you think any tribe will want him out of office? Is it rotation that we need, or good person that will have mercy over the masses? It is well without. Okay, I don't understand the prayer. You said it is well without in Jesus' name. Okay, but we have to add in Jesus' name.
With us, it is well with us.
Okay, it is well with us in Jesus. Oh yeah. Thank you so much, sir. It is well with us in Jesus' name. Chief Fadik Abalari from Eleko. Thank you so much, Chief, for your contribution. All right, let's go for our second topic of the day. I will just take the intro and then we'll go on a very short break. And afterwards, we'll come back to talk more about it with my guest. And well, this one will lead us to the security issue in Nigeria. Armed terrorists suspected to be members of Boko Haram, ISWAP raided the 3 Battalion, a military formation in Ran, the headquarters of Kala Balge, and another based in Gajiram town of Ngazai local government area of Borno State. Ran, located in Borno Central. And those two areas were attacked in a coordinated raid. And now this violence has drawn strong condemnation from Borno State Governor Professor Babangana Umara Zulum following the series of attacks that happened. And sources has revealed that during the attack on the military formation in Iran, 5 soldiers were killed, while 6 others sustained injuries. In Giram, troops reportedly offered tactical resistance and repelled the assault, forcing the terrorists to retreat. And not just that, also just hours after, another group insurgents stormed a military base in Mate, killing several soldiers and looting arms and ammunition. And well, this has begged so many questions about our reliance on the military if we keep having this particular, reoccurrence in Borno State, because if we could remember, it happened in 2013, 2019. There are several occurrences of Boko Haram. Well, that is their base actually in Maiduguri, and they've been there for quite a while, and up till now, they've not been able, to overcome this particular Boko Haram terrorizing the country. At some point in time, it died down, but now it seems they're back again. But why? Another question is, why do they always come up when it's closer to election time? That's another question. Let's go on a very short break, and when we're back, we'll be here to take your contribution. Do know you can still send messages to our WhatsApp number on 0913-655-6952. That is for call, and 0913-655-6864 is strictly for SMS and WhatsApp. Do not go anywhere, please.
88.7 FM.
ẹ tẹ́tí sí ìkéde pàtàkì yìí, èyí ni láti fi tó gbogbo ènìyàn létí pé àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ tí wọ́n mojú ìléjà nípa ètò ìtọ́jú ojú lájọ Benjamin Franklin Foundation ṣètò ìtọ́jú ojú fáwọn èèyàn léyìí tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nílùú Ìlọrin àti agbègbè rẹ̀. Láti jẹ àǹfààní ètò yìí, ẹ ó gba káàdì ìforúkọsílẹ̀ pẹ̀lú náírà 500 naira. Lẹ́yìn náà ni ẹ ó ní àǹfààní sí ìtọ́jú àìsàn ojú, gbígba oògùn tè mọ́ àwọ̀ ojú tá a mọ̀ sí medicated glasses lówó tí oògùn ní lápá. Níbi tí ètò yìí ti ń wáyé ní Ọlálọ́mí Hospital tó wà ní agbègbè Stadium Road nílùú Ìlọrin. Aago 9 òwúrọ̀ sí 4 ìrọ̀lẹ́ lójoojúmọ́ ni ètò yìí fi ń wáyé o. Fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé, ẹ pè àjọ Benjamin Franklin Eye Foundation sórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yìí 08032622377. Àjọ Benjamin Franklin Eye Foundation ni olùkéde.
Hello there! Looking for fun, laughter, entertainment, dance, trend, want to mingle or connect, some relaxation, and many more? Search no further. Diamond Amusement Park, located at Plot 2 New Yidi Road, Ilori, is where you get those. We've got pendulum, carousels, rocket launcher, roller coaster. 2 New Yidi Road, Ilori. Diamond Amusement Park, truly home of unlimited fun.
Across the Internal Revenue Service, KWIRS, notifies the general public of the commencement of registration for the 2025 Task Class Quiz Competition for secondary schools in Kwara State. Interested secondary schools in the state, both public and private, are enjoined to visit KWIRS Task Club portal via www.taskclub.kwirs.site to complete the expression of interest form between 1st and 30th of May 2025. Registration shall be strictly online and shall not be extended. The competition timetable will be communicated to successful schools via email and SMS from 9th to 11th 11th June 2025. Schools are to note that the round 1 and round 2 stages of the competition will hold online as computer-based tests, which shall be written by the students in the respective schools across the 3 senatorial districts of the state between 16th and 20th of June 2025. Details of semi-finals and the final stages shall be communicated in due course. For further inquiries, schools can send email to taskclub@kw-irs.com or call 0700-6959-477. This message is from the Kwara State Internal Revenue Service, KWIRS. Play your part, pay your tax.
Introducing the new improved Bobo yogurt. Oh yes, Bobo, your child's special and favorite drink, now comes in a new improved better form with much more value. The Bobo yogurt. It is creamier, smoother, yummier and tastier. Also rich in probiotics and minerals and comes in a whole new 180 ml blue bottle. And of course, your Bobo milk drink continues to shine brighter in its apple, vanilla and orange flavors to make your children bright, sharp, happy and stay healthy. Available in shops and markets.
káàkiri polongo ìbò láàrin àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ọjọ́ ti wá pé báyìí táwọn mẹ́ni tó gbangba sùn láyé ọjọ́ Thursday 15th of May 2025 láti máa tẹ̀ka pìràpìrà fún èyíkéyìí olùdíje wọn tó bá fẹ́ aago 9 àárọ̀ títí dago 12 ní accreditation àti manifesto níbi tí àwọn olùdíje yóò ti máa ṣàlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ àwọn ètò tí wọ́n ní fẹ́ gbẹ́ tó bá wá di aago kan ọ̀sán lẹ́tọ̀ ìdìbò yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní pẹrẹwu ẹ wá gbọ́ o 10 delegates èèyàn mẹ́wàá láti zone kankan yíká ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara ló lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ láti dìbò NUJ Press Center tó wà ní dojúkọ St Anthony Secondary School Ọ̀fà Road ibẹ̀ gangan níbi ètò ìdìbò ètò àbòsí ti wà lẹ̀ fún gbogbo ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ó yá o ẹjẹ́ àjọ gbé ẹgbẹ́ ìgbéjà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara lárugẹ apẹ́kọ́ high standard àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ tó ń ṣètò ìdìbò electoral committee ló ní àmà kéde ẹ̀.
Diamond 88.7 FM.
All right, you're welcome back. You're still tuned into Diamond 88.7 of Ilori. And we, earlier before we went on that break where we spoke about the armed terrorists who were suspected to be members of Boko Haram, and they raided 3 battalions in Ran, Kala, Kalabalge, and also in Gaijiram area in Borno State. And just as I said earlier, before I went on that break, I said that they've been raiding Borno, and just as we know, Boko Haram has always has a base in Maiduguri, that's a capital. Now, if we're going to talk about it now, this situation, at some point in time, we thought it was abating, but Mr. Lawal, would you say this is abating or is getting worse as the case seems?
It's festering. It's getting worse.
Okay.
My heart goes out to the fallen soldiers who have paid the supreme price. Our thoughts are with their families, their loved ones. And for those who have been injured, I pray for quick recovery for them.
Amen.
Nigerian army in the 80s, in the 90s, that led ECOMOG to rid Liberia, to rid Sierra Leone of insurgents. This is the Nigerian army that has gone on foreign operations across Africa and even other continents in the world, and they've come back with accolades. Accolades as a testament to their resilience, to their discipline, and to how smart they are able to work with tools that were afforded them in those foreign missions. This is a Nigerian army that is adjudged to be the best land force on this continent. Now we now have that same Nigerian army who cannot defeat insurgency on their home soil for more than a decade. We now have that same Nigerian army that has now been infiltrated with so-called repentant insurgents.
In quote, repentant.
Yeah. That is why it all boils down to leadership across different strata, across different regimes and administration.
Now.
Yeah, it is not just about this administration.
or the previous one, or the ones that were ousted in 2015 through the ballot. It is a failure of leadership, of cataclysmic proportions. As in, I don't know what else to use because we're on radio. These deaths, so many children have been rendered fatherless, so many wives have become young widows, so many fathers and mothers have had to mourn their children who are supposed to take care of them in their old age.
Exactly, because according to the
and yet
data,
we have leaders who are living in opulence.
Yeah. But again, if we're going to look at it now, how does the reliance on the military now comes to play? Because there will be doubt on relying on them. At some point in time, they were the last resort. Like, okay, once army is here, we know, yes, everything will be resolved. But then looking at it now, I don't think can we still rely on the military at this point in time?
As a layman, it is difficult to do that because there's no collaborative effort from the inside. And so, how long? And please don't be deceived. Boko Haram is defeated or whatever. During the disastrous 8 years of Buhari, it was underreported. We had the NBC coming out, clamping down on media houses for reporting about insecurity in the country. We had the Minister of Misinformation. That's what I call him, Lai Mohammed.
Oh no, we would know.
That's what I call him.
Okay.
That's my opinion, and I'm not apologetic about it. Because if somebody can come on air and tell us we have systematically, technically defeated terrorists, and terrorists can be using drones, using sophisticated weapons that even the country's security defense forces don't have access to. And their own children are not on the front line. That's the problem. Their own children are not on the front line. So how long are we going to continue sacrificing Nigerians' lives?
Do you see a way forward at this point in time?
There is always a way forward if there's a sincerity of purpose on the part of those who are saddled with the responsibility of safeguarding the territorial integrity of Nigeria. And this time it goes right up to the leadership, not the rank and file. Because we've had cases of soldiers complaining that they were at the brink of victory and they were told to abort their mission. 2, the onus is on Nigerians as well to also take up the security of their life and property. It is no longer a government's business alone. We should also offer collaborative help as citizens to these security agencies.
Okay.
Because this Boko Haram that we are talking about, they are not ghosts. They don't vanish. They live amongst people. They live in communities. They live in communities.
Oh, well, they've always raided Baga, and I think the axis where they've always been raiding are closer to that area. So which means they probably has a base somewhere closer.
Yeah, and the military is aware of it. So why is it so difficult that you can go? Our army went to Sierra Leone and rid that country of insurgency, brought their rebel leader back into this country to lock up in a police cell. And we cannot, we killed Shekau how many times? Multiple times before he finally died. When he's not Jesus Christ resurrecting. I mean, all of these things, it is a disgrace.
All right, God help Nigeria at this point in time.
And I hope we help ourselves too.
Oh, well, we hope we help ourselves. But then how do we actually help ourselves? That's the same question I'll keep asking over and over again. 09136556952. Remember, no insightful words. No matter how emotional we want to be about this, well, please do not use insightful words. All right, let's pick this. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. You're welcome again, sir.
You're
welcome.
From Lamudia.
You're welcome, sir.
Insecurity will erode it. If military bases are being attacked, you can see what happens. The president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Don't we have the SAS again? Don't we have a military intelligence? How can these riffraffs be attacking military bases and they are succeeding? Whatever it is, the president must have that political will to help this nonsense. Only him can do it.
Okay.
And I pray we do it.
Amen.
God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Mr. Babatunde. Thank you so much, sir. All right, let's still take messages and reactions before we take very quickly our last topic of the day. Yes, says good morning in the house, Omonike. And this person mentioned my secondary school. That means you know me. All right, it's a pleasure to know you. But then I hope I get to know who this is. And it says, and the answer says, good morning in the house. Why are people calling for rotational presidency? Governor and even chairmanship is bad governance. If we have senators, House of Representatives, members, and even councillors, why do we need to demand for rotation? The idea behind the rotational is not in the best interest of even development. It is like we're looking at our own area or region only, and that may even spell doom for Nigeria. Ayekoto from Ganiki Songo. Thank you so much for your message, Hania. It says, I still find it difficult that a battalion of soldiers could be overrun by terrorists without resistance. Alertness is one very important warning that uniformed men are fed with. Could these soldiers be sleeping where they attack through air? Did the terrorists come as ghosts that no one could sight them? Have they not learned from past experience? I think the time has come for the government to sincerely interrogate these unpleasant happenings. If our military can be overrun with ease by terrorists, where do we go as helpless and aimless citizens? From Elder Yemi Asajo, and it says we could help ourselves by giving the right information to the military. The role of the fifth columnist must be checked. We must stop politicizing security. Elder Yemi Asajo, thank you so much for your contribution. And yeah, it says we've got quite a lot of them. I'm going to make sure I take them real quick. Here says I have said it severally that it is a crime to have to. Okay, crime to be okay. Well, as Nigerians, it can't be a crime. And he says there's nothing to write him about. The military could be attacking their base. Nowhere is safe. Nigerians, be prepared. Okay, Prince Bankole Owakajola says that. But then, thank you so much for your contribution. All right, let's go further. Here says, Omonike and analyst, good morning. I'm Engineer Gamble from Tanke. It's a pleasure to hear from you, Engineer Gamble. And he says, I've been saying it severally. Until those opportune or money brought to top politicians' children are being engaged in frontline before security issues can be resolved. Okay, can be solved. And it says you can see it until they decide to have no mercy on those terrorists before we can have peace in this country. Dami Vision, thank you so much for your contribution. Let's take one more call and then we get to go into the second. One more call. Hello, good morning.
More wisdom, we appreciate you.
You're welcome, prophetess.
Doctor, more wisdom.
Amen.
This prophetess, Omonike, well done.
All right, thank you, man.
It's very sad. So hearing the news of these fallen soldiers yesterday,
all right,
it's very sad. It's very sad. If you see the video, how they are crying, their colleagues there. In fact, it's very shocking. But the government is still trying, but they're supposed to increase and they're supposed to improve the well-being. How this insurgency should be put an end to. God will help us.
Amen.
Well done.
All right, thank you so much, prophetess. Thank you for your contribution. Now let's go real quick to the last topic of the day. The Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, has destroyed substandard imported tires, electrical cables, steel doors, and spark plugs, which fail to meet the minimum safety and quality standard required in that undermine the safety, health, and security of the citizens. And it says these substandard imported products are said to be, he didn't say it, but I'm trying to clarify to us that the standard imported products are said to be worth billions. All right, the Director General of SON, that's Dr. Ifeanyi Okeke, has noted that using standard quality products, particularly tire, will prevent accidents came through a channel. It was ordered, and I have so many questions, but then this begs so many questions of it comes through them or through a channel, there's supervision of these goods also, and then destroying them. Is that actually the way out? That's like burning millions or billions. No, this is not millions, billions of naira.
The answer is yes and no. And
Okay.
I'll be quick about it.
Okay.
SON, Standard Organization of Nigeria, one of their core mandates is to ensure that substandard products do not find their way into the Nigerian market.
Yeah, but it has found its way now.
Yeah, it has. So, a
in regulating and enforcing. My take is on the regulation aspect of their mandate. They are being reactive. They should be proactive. Now, this is what I mean. Whenever the president, governors, I believe Son has offices in almost every state in this country.
Yes.
And when the president goes on official trip to India, to France, to UK, to do this, to do that, is Son not part of the entourage? It's a question. Because when they go to these countries, they meet with the business community. This is where Son leadership comes in. And gets to this business community and say, look, substandard products will no longer be allowed in our country. That is being proactive. Now, when they come in, you seize them. Don't destroy them. Use them to decorate our roads and all whatnot. We can do all of these things. What can be recycled amidst all of these products should be recycled. That's another part. Instead of destroying them. I know there are some that will be destroyed. But as much as we can, this destruction of what have you is reactive and not proactive. But now, who are those agents who brought these things in? Those companies should be blacklisted. Where are those shipping lines through which these things were brought in? They should be blacklisted. Who are the importers? Their companies should be blacklisted. Their customer
messages real quick so we can end the show. We have about 2 minutes or 1 minute to check out time. Yes, says good morning, presenters. And I wish I could ask you about the local industry we have in Nigeria. Because that would be my last question. Your reaction, lastly, to the conversation today. But let me take this real quick. Here says, good morning, presenter and guest. A big kudos must be given to Nigerian Army and their family for still allowing their children to be protecting Nigeria. Despite that, they are playing politics with their lives on a daily basis. They are killing our army on a daily basis. My friend is a colonel was killed in Niger State a year ago. The family are still in pain. Engineer Abdul Yasir Alubarika, thank you so much for your message, and we say may his soul rest in peace and God comfort the family. Yes, says good morning, amiable. Okay, well, you probably send this potted from. It is good use for them. They won't put it in their waste bin. Al Mansur. Okay, I'm trying to get a message. Sorry, I'm trying to read real quick and I'm trying to assimilate what I'm reading. All right, but then let me take your message, your reaction. Oh, our time is gone. In few seconds, in 10 seconds, 2 sentences. Our local industry, how can we up our game?
1, we can provide more credit lines to local producers, give them tax incentives. This will boost their production. Those are ways that government can encourage local production.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on Diamond Breakfast Show this morning.
It's always a pleasure.
I wish we still have more time to delve into most of these topics. All right. I remain Omonike Babatunde, and sincere gratitude to my producer, Mr. Taiwo Adedira, and also to my manager, Mr. Michael Abiodun Olariwaju. I remain Omonike Babatunde. Do have a wonderful day. About Dasi comes up shortly. Do not go anywhere.